I'd like to call this meeting to order for the Engineering Committee meeting at 3 p.m. And we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call. All board members are present. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
Okay. And I motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public comment, we do not have anybody in person and nobody online, so we'll go to number 3. I need a motion to approve the minutes.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 4, is it OESTA? I should have asked before. OESTA Recharge Study Project. Who wants to take that? Sean is going to take that.
So the Oeste Recharge Study Project is a recharge basin for surface water percolation over off Cayucos, off of Oasis, so just north of our operations yard. Mojave is currently working through design and Joshua tree mitigation on, I believe it's 5 acres over off their property there. So we don't have a whole lot of updates past that other than they're working on that design.
Okay.
Maybe if I can just add to that, they are working through the mitigation of the Joshua trees on that site. There's a few. They already dealt with one location for mitigation at another recharge basin. So I believe they're still going through that ITP process for that location. I believe I have a number of trees and what that mitigation cost is going to look like for them. I can bring that to you at the next meeting.
Okay. Sounds good. Number 5, discussion regarding water systems.
This has been a very busy month for us. Our crews today finished the Trinity crossing. It is disinfecting. We'll be sampling tomorrow. So everything goes right. That pipeline should be back on Monday. So that's the best news. Well 16, we spinner logged earlier today. We just finished discrete sampling about 8 minutes ago. We did test and run it at 1,000 gallons a minute. We're 28 hours in right now. Levels are really stable. That's a really nice formation we're seeing. So basically, we call it a municipality test, right? We tend to run our wells even longer, but then you start running out of place to put water, like what's happening to us right now. But that's what we really look for. Is kind of like a reverse pump curve. You know, how long can this well sustain this amount of water? We're seeing about a foot of drawdown every 3 to 4 hours. Best case scenario, again. Nothing negative coming out of that site just yet. I guess we'll cover it at number 7 too, but well number 18, they're assembling our ream bits right now. Here in the next 4 to 5 hours, those bits will be in the ground and start. Our casing arrived today, so all the materials we need for that well are here. And within 3 to 4 weeks, we should have a number hopefully coming out of that one on how much that'll produce. Might be a little bit longer because their test pump rig did break down this week. So they got to take all the equipment from well 16, hop it over to well 18. We are in the middle of our off season, so to speak. So for our 10-year tank and rehabilitation, we are working through, I think we've done 6 tank washouts. Our contract is 10, and I just emailed them on Monday, and we are trying to schedule the remaining 4 before things start to warm up. Truth be told, they had dove 2 tanks on top of last year. So in our manager's report, we will see 8. And that is why basically they'll work with us and we work with them. It is 10 contractually a year. Sometimes we'll do 10, 11, or 12, and we might do 9 the following year. But we always make sure it balances out that 10 a year. Let's see. Our samples were up these last couple months. We had to sample for the storm. Our production's running really concurrent with what we've seen historically. We are not utilizing well 14. Our plan, once October 1st of next year gets closer, well 14 is the district's paper tiger. Basically, it is our largest producing well for now. Hitting the jackpot at well 16, that's not going to be the case. So the plan is September 1st, we will physically separate well 14 from the distribution system. We overhauled some PRVs. We concluded our dead end flushing for the year. We have some fill station statistics. There seems to always be a line over there, and some photos from the damage from the storm. Water quality. You know, we all saw that boil notice. That was the first one, and I think I've been at this 22 years. That was the first one I've ever had the pleasure of, and we didn't even have to do one, right? And so we can hold our head up. We got to do two. That was a first for our sanitary engineer too. But that's since been lifted. All bacteriological samples are good. Our service line replacement, these guys are out there busting their necks every day. The numbers down in our manager's report, I think we're ahead of schedule. We do budget for 150 a year. We always try to meet or exceed that goal. And we do see that having an impact on the amount of service line leaks per year. And as much as some to the guys' dismay on this one, we tend to see that in our overtime a little bit. We can see that reduction, although again, we had a significant amount from Christmas Eve to a couple days past New Year's Day. So that's about all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
No questions?
All right, I have no questions either.
A couple things not mentioned in here. Mojave started their basically phase one of their percolation project. It's 48,000 cubic yards of earth material. It is amazing clean fill material. We started taking material yesterday. Today there's 7,000 cubic yards at 1C over off Wilson Ranch. So if anyone's asking why is there a little dirt mountain, or a rather medium-sized dirt mountain, this was completely free to the district. And I know when I started out here, I thought dirt would be a lot easier to come by. And in fact, that is one of the hardest commodities for us to acquire, is dirt. There'll be a total of 48,000 cubic yards coming for that project. We anticipate being able to hold about 20,000 of that at Site 1C off Wilson Ranch. We're going to stash the rest of that at the fill station on the district property over there. And coming around August or so, phase two of that project should kick off, and there'll be 440,000 cubic yards of earthen material transported for free. We have a pipeline lowering program in the district. I submitted to the project manager a map of the streets highly affected. Off the top of my head, Windermere, Schlitz, parts of Wilson Ranch, Middleton. So we'd like to have those topographically surveyed, because the contractor is also willing to, free of charge to the district. I don't have an official count on how many trucks every day. We only get load counts. They're running somewhere between 40 and 100 to move the amount of material they have. They're willing to bring that to us for free, not just to our property, but to these main lines that are very shallow. So instead of us having to pay to truck it like we did on Wilson Ranch, those costs are covered. We would just need to rent a bulldozer to spread the material, because we can keep up a lot easier than with just a backhoe. So again, tremendous score for us. And that'll really, accelerate our pipeline lowering program. Just in reverse. Instead of lowering a pipe, we put dirt on top. Achieve the same thing, but for darn near free.
Contractor's gotta be happy too. That's gonna save him a lot of money.
It is. It is. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
So, and we'll have fill material hopefully till we retire. I mean, that should keep us in dirt for a long time, and it's really nice fill and I just spoke with a contractor. He says they put 40% effort in, they're getting 95% compaction. There's not a rock in it. It's a win for everybody. So we plan on bringing that before the board July, August, once we have better numbers on that. But for now, it's keeping us in material as well. So well 16, we're concluding test pumping. We had built into the bid scope 72 hours. That would have worked out to 12 or 13 acre foot of water. And that is exactly as it seems. It's 12 acres of property a foot deep. Well, we only have 10, and it's rather more than a foot deep right now. For safety, we are going to cease pumping at 5 o'clock today. It's at my comfort level. So I don't want to put any more stress on those earthen berms. We got all the samples we needed to out of the well. Quite frankly, it's just more water than we can handle. So, a good problem. And we've gotten to do our spinner logs, which are right here. It's very unique. We don't have too many that look like this strata below ground, which is a happy coincidence. It kind of has given rise to a new theory that we're guessing water's moving in our sub-basin. So, happy to answer any questions. I know that was a lot, real quick. We got a lot of irons in the fire right now.
Back to on the four on the Wester Recharge Study Project, they're doing a 5-acre basin, is that what you guys said?
Yeah, they own 5 acres over there.
It seems small, are they doing that just to see if they can build a bigger basin, or?
No, they did some geotechnical surveys, which we also utilize, because where it percolates water, it, in theory, extracts water fairly decent. And the area well 16 is located in did not look very promising. We had actually done CEQA there as a backup to 15, just because we own a property. And then we got to theorizing, well, that geotechnical data is not horrible. It's not the most promising we've ever seen, but it's fair. And here we are kind of hitting the jackpot. The geotechnical data for them suggested that further over towards county line was more porous and it'll percolate better. Yeah, which would be a benefit to the district because that happens to be directly upstream of some of our wells that are going to be impacted by chromium. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen fast enough. So we're going to have to reduce the capacity at well 12, which is directly north of where they're proposing to build this. That water does come from the aqueduct. It has certain constituents in it. You would see a lot of surface water, TDS, but no heavy metal.
It's high in salt, right?
It is. Sodium tends to be up there. For us, it would be wonderful because in theory it would help dilute out hexavalent chromium. But unfortunately, we just don't have the time frame to hope for that. So we will reduce the reduction in well 12. We're going to walk away from well 14. It's $1,286 an acre foot to pump it right now. So it's cheaper to buy water from Victorville. That's just the nuts and bolts on it. So
Yep.
it was good while it lasted. But
It just seems like 5 acres is a small site, and I just wondered why they were developing a 5-acre recharge basin like that.
that would give them a mechanism to recharge the Weste Basin. I believe.
If we can add, they did purchase the parcel adjacent to that. Well, they kind of beat us to it, so. So they did purchase the other piece to that puzzle, so that might expand that
And that was
project.
another 5, or what?
Adjacent to it, yeah.
All right.
The district had inquired on the tax rolls and then put in a letter of interest, and unfortunately, we were unsuccessful. So Mojave did end up acquiring that property. So they'll have 10 acres, quite a bit of Joshua trees. But that is, if you're looking at a map, on our west side, we do tend to see elevated chromium levels over there. So what we do is, again, I use this pen a lot. This upper part, we just look at those perforations. It's 810 foot below ground or higher is a fairly safe bet. Anything below about 810 feet. It's just unusable for us.
Thank you, George.
All right. So we'll go on to number 6, state regulations update.
I don't have anything to add.
Okay. Are we done with number 7? Or do you need, are we touching back on that?
George, you want to
Is there
update us
more?
on 6A?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, 6A, actually.
Okay, 6A, yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
6A. That is the proposed 1.5 mg tank on that site. As mentioned, NEPA was completed on that and kind of put the stamp on the $2 million from HUD funding for that project. We did meet with an engineer this afternoon to walk the site along with another engineer a week ago or so to walk the site as well. So we have one other that would potentially take a look at this, and then we're asking for an RFQ on that project, as well as not just the design, but also packaging up the bid documents for the project that would involve the grant funding. So similar to what we've done with the FEMA EOC, similar what we need to address in the bid packet as well. So we're moving forward with at least getting to that point where we'll be receiving some RFQs and then select an engineer to complete the project for design. So that's all I got on that.
Do you have any questions?
No questions?
All right. And we're done with 16 and 18?
Sure, unless anybody has any questions.
We didn't have any questions. All right, staff reports, number 8.
I have nothing more to add there. Jen, nothing?
Okay.
We will notice the amount of equipment out on Phelan Road, and our USAs are elevated from about our average. That is because Greg Electric's installing that Edison backbone for Amazon. It's 6-inch conduit? Yes. 6-inch conduits are going into that trench, coming this way. So they will basically be digging through half of our district. They're already in it. What are they doing to a tumbleweed?
About the tracks, and then they're hitting this through
So that
portions.
they'll be coming west to Johnson, tying into the Johnson substation. So that's why we see so many of those USAs. We spend a lot of staff time marking out. We have mains and services that, so far, they've been a really good partner to work with. Very cooperative, very communicative. So I would just like to thank them.
It's crazy Amazon had to go that far to get that much power. That's a
Or
long-
are they getting power both directions?
No,
Just this way?
just this way.
Oh.
Cheaper than going to
I really thought that was for future road widening, that it was Edison doing it.
It's Amazon.
Amazon, wow. Okay.
I just did some search. I do add something to add. We talked about the Joshua trees that Mojave Water Agency has mitigated, and that's on the Victorville site that Sean did mention. There were 618 Joshua trees that were part of the ITP, and they paid their fee, $372,000, and there's about $200,000 additional cost for relocation. So total on that's around $570,000 for those Joshua trees. Just give you a perspective of what that looks like when you're required to relocate 10, 15% or protect 10 or 50%. It's one of the two. And in that project, they were required to relocate those Joshua trees. So,
Amazing
Joshua
there
trees.
could be so many endangered trees on such a small site.
Want to take a walk?
No, I already know. That's crazy.
All right, did we have any prior action items?
No, there were none.
And current?
I have noted none.
Okay. Then we need to set the agenda. Anybody have anything for the agenda for next meeting?
I do. So our next meeting is March 26th. I don't know if we'll have time. So given the parameters we established today at our test pumping, we know exactly what pump, motor, and variable frequency drive we'll need for well 16. And normally I always bring things to committee before I bring them to the board. But given the time, being it's March 26th and we have a board meeting right about then, and some of these components can be several months, would the committee be opposed to if staff packaged together those components and we bypassed the committee and went to the board for consideration on purchasing the pump, motor, and VFD? Or would it be the desire, because it would basically put us back an additional month?
My opinion is you're gonna need it either way, so I'm okay with you going straight to the board, but that's
Right,
me.
yeah, I'm fine with that too.
And staff won't be purchasing anything, it'll be coming to the board
It'll
just
just
for
go directly to
consideration.
them,
Correct.
the group. Yeah, that
And it-
sounds fine.
We're kind of bound on, I mean, unless committee had a desire for one brand or, it's pretty standard. What we really want to do is standardize as much equipment as possible. The idea is then you have spares sitting on the shelf. And what we'd like to do is put the same VFD, the same motor, it won't be the same pump because of quantity, but as well 15. And that way we have those spare components sitting on the shelf. Should something go wrong, that's the goal.
So,
sense.
that sounds really good.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right, then I guess we'll adjourn at 3:20. Thank you.
And thank you very much for the map.
Yes.